we are now focusing on excretory system. What is exactly excretion? When metabolic activities are going on in body, waste material is produced in the body. That waste material produced, that should be removed from body. So that process, that is called as excretion. So I am revising again. Waste material produced in metabolic activity, that is harmful for body, that should be removed out from body. The process, that is called as excretion. Excretory products are predominantly obtained from metabolic activities. So in case of human being, nitrogenous waste is actually hazardous waste in our body. Various metabolic activities are going on. In that, ammonia is a nitrogenous waste. You are aware the formula of ammonia, that is NH3. One atom of nitrogen, 3 atoms of hydrogen. They are combining together, that is called as ammonia. This ammonia is actually waste material in human body. Various animals, they are also having similar metabolic activities, and therefore waste material obtained, that is also similar, that is ammonia. Now this ammonia is to be excreted, but not only ammonia is waste material. Apart from that, various other waste materials are there. Say for example carbon dioxide, as we are discussing about respiratory product, the byproduct actually, the water molecule produced, that is also waste material if not required by body. If required by body, then it is not waste material. Carbon dioxide is actually should throw out of body, but as long as carbon dioxide is there in body, it is serving as maintenance of pH of blood. So for that purpose, carbonate ion system is there. In that carbonate ion and bicarbonate ion system, carbon dioxide is required, but otherwise the excess carbon dioxide is to be removed. So this is also metabolic activity product. So like that, various products are obtained in our metabolic activity. Many of them are harmful, and then these products should be thrown out of body. That process is called as excretion. Whereas when we are talking of ejection process, in nutrition we discuss about ejection. The feces that is thrown out of body, that is not considered as excretory product, because it is undigested material. It is not obtained from metabolic activity of body, and therefore when we are talking of excretion, we are not considering feces in that excretory product, but bile juice present in that feces, that is actually excretory product, because bile juice is obtained from destroyed RBCs. RBCs are destroyed in spleen, recycled rather. Whatever useful part of that is taken back, recycled, and the part which is not useful, that is taken to liver, where it is converted into bile juice or bile salt, and then it is thrown out of body along with feces. So in case of feces, the bile juice, that is only excretory part, but other products are not excretory one. So first we have to clear in mind that excretion means what? The metabolic waste produced in body that should be thrown out of body, this is called as excretion. Excretion is obtained in various ways. If I am talking of plant, then usually the waste material obtained in plant, it is stored in the leaves. And when suitable time is there, these leaves shed off and excretory material is thrown out of that plant body. If you are aware that certain plants, they are excreting out resins, it is called as gum, that is also actually excretory product of that plant. So like that, various plants are excreting out, that is in form of either leaves. You are aware about Nephrolepis, that means fern plant, which is classified under Pteridophyta. That plant, on leaves, actually compound leaves are there, on leaves hydanthodium are obtained. That is meant for guttation only. So this is also excretory products in case of plant. So in case of plant, various excretory products are there. Say for example, another excretory product is there, that is calcium oxalate. So crystals of calcium oxalate are stored in the vacuoles, in the leaf only. So like that, various plants are there. They are storing out their waste material in leaves or in form of gum and all that. So it is excreted. Now in case of animal, excretory products are formed. They are usually carbon dioxide is emitted from our body through respiration. So no special other system is required, and as we discuss respiration, I am not considering right now about respiration part. Some of the water molecules, they are also eliminated from body along with respiration. You are aware, on mirror or on glass, just excel your when that glass is cold, you can find that condensed water is there. So through our mouth or respiratory system, considerable amount of water is thrown away. Now this is the way carbon dioxide and waste material like water also produced. Keep in mind, try to get reaction, we discussed that C6H12O6, that is oxidize, that means reacted with oxygen in presence of various enzymes. Again, I am not writing this reaction in balanced format. So this will give carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. So this is excretory product. Here energy is liberated, and as this energy is liberated here, that is used for metabolic activity, whereas these two products, they are actually byproduct obtained in this reaction. Now out of that, carbon dioxide is eliminated through respiration. Water, if required by body, keep in mind, water is actually not harmful, but excess water in body is not required, and then it is considered as excretory product, otherwise no. Now we are focusing on other waste material. So first waste material we are going to discuss, that ammonia is produced, and ammonia is directly excreted by animals. So those animals are capable of excreting ammonia directly. They are called as ammonotelic animal. Now, why certain animals only can excrete ammonia directly? Particularly fresh water fish, they are able to excrete ammonia directly. In order to excrete ammonia, tremendous amount of water is required. Ammonia is highly soluble in water, and so in order to excrete ammonia, large quantity of water is required, and therefore ammonia is not directly excreted by all other animals. But freshwater animal, those who are living, aquatic animal, those who are living already in fresh water, they have abundant water availability, and therefore these animals are consuming water to great extent, as they are there in that fresh water only, and therefore they are ammonotelic animal. So I am revising again. If ammonia is directly excreted, then it is animal category is called as ammonotelic animal, where a large quantity of water is required to excrete that ammonia. Therefore, particularly freshwater fishes are ammonotelic in nature. Now, second category. In case of mammals or human being, we can't excrete out ammonia to that extent because we are not continuously living in water. So there is conversion of ammonia into organic substance, that is called as urea. So ammonia is converted into urea. The process is called as ornithine cycle. This process happens in liver. So begin with ammonia is there in blood, but it is harmful. So ammonia, when it is going in liver, it is converted into urea. The process is having name as ornithine cycle, and then ammonia is converted into urea. In order to excrete urea, comparatively less water is required. Comparatively means what? along with ammonia, if you compare, then less water is required to excrete out urea. So when urea is excretory product, then the animals are called as ureotelic animal. I am specifically pronouncing here ureotelic animal. I am revising. If ammonia is excreted by animal, then they are called as ammonotelic animal. If urea is excreted by animal, then they are called as ureotelic animal. Third category, like certain reptiles, those who are staying in desert or dry climate where water scarcity is there. Then certain birds, all these things, they are having very less amount of water. Already intake of water is very less, and then they can't afford to excrete out urea also, because in order to excrete urea, certain amount of water is required. So if urea is more, water is more required, they can't excrete out. So urea is converted into another product that is called as uric acid. I am revising name. The product is uric acid. Even in mammals also uric acid is produced to certain extent, but that extent is very, very low. If that extent is high, beyond limit, suppose uric acid is produced, then joint pain are the problem for mammals. But in case of these animals, uric acid is produced as excretory product. Uric acid is white color solid substance, and this is excreted in form of solid only, and therefore less amount of water or almost negligible amount of water is required to excrete out uric acid as compared to urea. So these animals are called as uricotelic animal. Previous I told that is ureotelic, here uricotelic, CO. So uricotelic animals. So third category we discussed, that is uricotelic animal. Then certain animals, you are aware, certain arthropods. You are aware of Arthropoda kingdom, Arthropoda phylum, where we have largest phylum, that is Arthropoda. In that, spider, scorpion like animals are there. They are excreting out guanine instead of this urea, uric acid, all that. They excrete out the product that is called as guanine, and therefore these animals are called as guanotelic animal. So this way we discuss the mode of excretion, and now we are again focusing on human being, where excretory product is urea. Main excretory product, that is urea, and we are going to discuss now about excretion in human being, particularly excretory system, where we have to discuss the first thing, that in order to excrete that waste product, the organ is required that is called as kidney. So our system, excretory system, begins with kidney, where pair of kidneys are there. Actually, it is said that for better functioning of body or normal functioning of body, one kidney is sufficient. One extra kidney is provided. So two kidneys are there, but actually it is said that one kidney can be sufficient. Second kidney we can say additional one. So here we can say the same thing, two kidneys are there. Whereas many alcoholic people, they wish that why only one liver is there. Instead of that, two livers should be there. Like that they are having dream. But here the dream is something fulfilled in case of kidney, that pair of kidneys are provided. So there are two kidneys. Now pair of kidneys are there to the either side of vertebral column. Now these kidneys are there in abdominal cavity, but towards back side, just beside vertebral column, these kidneys are there. Now we are going to discuss this diagram. They are bean shaped somewhat. So this is first kidney. This is towards right side. Now I am showing here, this is right side, this is left side. Right kidney is slightly lower than left kidney. So while drawing another kidney, I should draw something like this. See, this line if I am mentioning, then this is slightly above. It is not that very much above, little bit difference is there. So this is right kidney, this is left kidney. Then here artery is coming. You are aware the artery which supplies blood to kidney, that is called as renal artery. So here I am showing renal artery, whereas vein is coming. Now here vein is shown in blue color, so you should not get confused here. On pair of kidney, the glands are there. Now, as we discussed that this is called as kidney. Related with kidney, we are using word that is renal. These glands are above kidney, so we are calling them as suprarenal gland or adrenal gland. So I am giving name here. These glands are called as suprarenal gland or adrenal gland. Really, I should say that only one name should be there. Adrenal gland is nice name because these glands are secreting out hormone. Hormone is enzyme only, but that is having specific action. It is released in bloodstream. It is not directly related with duct. It is secreted through ductless gland. So when this adrenaline is secreted by this adrenal gland, it is released in blood and it is having specific action. So basically hormones are enzymes only, but having specific action, and they are secreted through ductless gland. So here this gland is called as adrenaline. Hormone emitted, that is called as adrenaline. Adrenaline is having action on liver, where when adrenaline is reaching at liver, in liver there is glycogen. You are aware that glycogen is polymer of glucose. So it is called as oligosaccharide. So that glycogen is converted into glucose. This reaction stimulated by adrenaline. When we are having fear or anger, or when we become aggressive, at that time adrenaline is secreted and extra glucose is there in blood. That's why you will find that when person is angry or having some problem or in fear, then he lost his appetite. The hunger, sense of hunger is lost at that time because glucose is secreted and level of glucose rises in the blood to greater extent. So this is about adrenaline secreted by adrenal gland. In red color I have shown the artery, that is called as renal artery. In blue color I have shown the vein, that is called as renal vein. Then from kidney, these pairs of tube are coming out, they are called as ureter. Then these ureters are entering in a bladder, that is called as urinary bladder, which is semi-permeable in nature. Here, these tubes, that means ureter, are having opening here where it is guarded opening. This is called as sphincter. Same way here also excretion is thrown away. Here also some sphincter muscle that is there, and next part that is called as urethra. So here I am again revising the concept. This is just plain diagram I have drawn. These are pair of kidneys. Right kidney is towards slightly lower end than lower side than towards left kidney. Then here artery which supplies blood to kidney, that is called as renal artery. Vein which taking away blood from kidney, that is called as renal vein. The glands are there on kidney, they are called as suprarenal gland or adrenal gland. These adrenal glands are secreting out hormone, that is called as adrenaline, which is having action on glucose, particularly on glycogen. Glycogen is converted into glucose. Now this is the waste material produced by kidney to carry out that urine. The material is urine, that is to carry out these tubes are there, that is called as ureter. They are opening out into urinary bladder, and through urinary bladder it is temporarily stored and then it is excreted via urethra. So this is just outline of human excretory system. Now question is that what is there inside the kidney? Inside the kidney, suppose you are taking LS. LS means vertically, that means longitudinal section. Then you will find that kidney is having some empty spaces inside, and side part, the side part, that is called as kidney cortex. Now I can't show exact diagram here, but somewhat diagram here I am showing here. The part, say this type of parts are here inside the kidney. So this part, that is called as cortex, whereas this part, a fibrous part here looking like something, this is called as medulla. So we have here two parts I have to discuss mainly. They are kidney cortex and medulla, where the filtration of blood is carried out inside the kidney. Now I have to discuss about a functional unit of kidney. So when we discuss heart, entire heart was in function. The ventricles or auricles, they were receiving blood and pumping action was carried out by heart. When we discuss about lungs, at that time we discussed that in the lung there are alveoli sac and they are actually functioning. Now here, this, if you are taking a small section, then a functional unit that is there, which is very small, it is called as nephron. I am revising the word, it is called as nephron. And I must warn you that many times we are having confusion because certain words are similar, sounding similar. The another sounding similar word is there, that is called as neuron. Neurons are present in nervous system, that is brain, spinal cord. In that system, neurons are present. Keep in mind neurosurgeon. You can keep the word in mind, that is neurosurgeon. So neurosurgeons are dealing with brain and spinal cord. So we can consider that as neuron in that way. Whereas this is called as nephron. So in kidney, the functional unit that is called as nephron. Kidney is having millions of nephrons. So it is not that only blood is entering here. It is passing down through nephrons. And now first thing, when artery is entering inside this kidney, then the blood, that artery is divided into smaller part, still smaller part, and ultimately a fine tube is there, that is called as arteriole. Certain words I must say here, that English is having some problem. The words they are using, either in Latin or English, they are sounding somewhat similar. Say for example, efferent and afferent. So here, sounding somewhat similar. So I am revising efferent and nephron. Arteriole are there, and word afferent and efferent is confusing. Afferent is going inside, and efferent, exhaust, you can keep in mind exhaust, exo. So efferent, E we can keep in mind. So efferent is going out. Now here we have to discuss about this actual process, the way filtration is carried out here, that we are going to discuss. So here the first part I am showing, this is structure of nephron we are going to discuss. Somewhat simplified structure I am drawing here. This is just to revise. So here, the first thing, this portion, this is called as Bowman's capsule. Then certain convoluted part, and then a loop. This is called as Henle's loop. Here, arteriole is coming out. As we discuss here that artery is entering, it is divided into part. Here arteriole is coming out, this is called as afferent arteriole. Then its diameter is bigger, but then its diameter decreases. And then in this part, many convolutions are there of this, and then it is coming out. While it is coming out, its diameter is less. So here afferent arteriole, here efferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole is having more diameter, efferent arteriole is having less diameter, and therefore pressure generation is here. And as pressure generation is here, the blood starts filtering out here. This is in Bowman's capsule. There are small cells, they are called as podocytes. They are actively involved in transfer of material inside. So Bowman's capsule, first physical pressure is there, and second one, that is actually podocytes are there, they are also taking material inside. So this filtration occurs here. This is called as artery, that is arteriole, small part of artery, we are calling that as arteriole. But then onwards, you will find that I am showing in different color, and then there is round here, network like something. This is called as venule. So till here it is artery, then it is part is converted into vein, and then we are calling this as vein. So this is having rounds around this Henle's loop and going on. Now we are going to discuss about the filtration process. See, blood is having two parts. One is called as colloid and other is called as crystalloid. Colloid means what? Corpuscles are present, they are considered in colloidal part. So for example, RBCs, WBCs are there. Then whatever the dissolved part in plasma, homogeneously, that is called as crystalloid. Certain colloidal chemicals are also there. They are not separated here. Only crystalloid, that means clear solution, that is filtered out here. So blood is separated here. The plasma part, out of that whatever the dissolved components are there, they are filtered off here in Bowman's capsule. Whatever good, bad, whatever things, they are filtered out here. So for example, sodium ions are there, potassium ions are there, then various other ions, they are also present. Urea is there, glucose is there. So useful as well as which is not useful, everything is filtered off here. Then it starts moving here. You can check out the direction of that liquid is changed out continuously. When we are changing out direction, the heavy ions and lighter ions change out their speed. And then process is there that arteriole, now it is in form of vein, that venule, it is surrounding this entire Henle's loop. This venule part is there for selective reabsorption. So in this process, the selective reabsorption is carried out. What is that selective reabsorption? That means now whatever is useful, that is absorbed. Something like we are using mobile, or we were using. Because now certain systems are there, but when in old days we were using mobile and we have to change that mobile. Then many phone numbers were there in the mobile. What is the best thing I can do? That copy out entire mobile numbers here, but this is actually chance of cleaning out mobile. So we used to do this way, that only important numbers I have to copy out in SIM card and take that SIM card in new mobile. Remaining numbers, keep it as it is in the old phone. Those who will call you, save their number immediately. Those who are not calling you, discard that number. So like that in old days. Now we have that cloud mechanism and all that, and so entire your phone number list can be transferred. But in old days we used to do this way. There's something similar here, that when filtration is there, everything is filtered off. But then whatever is of use, that we are going to take. And whatever is of no use, that is remaining inside this Henle's loop. So here the selective reabsorption is there. In that case, sugar is absorbed. Sugar means here glucose. Glucose is absorbed. then sodium ions are absorbed according to requirement. So whatever glucose is there, all glucose is trying to absorb. But glucose amount is more than it is not absorbed. Say for example, it is 160. Then above 160, whatever glucose is there, that is not absorbed. So this is the problem over here. Below 160 milligram per deciliter, that is the absorption capacity. If that capacity is exceeded, then excess glucose will not absorb here. But sodium ions, they get absorbed according to requirement. Many people are saying sodium ions are bad, consumption of salt is not required and all that. No, actually thing is that our body requires sodium ion. Our nervous system is particularly based on sodium and potassium ions. Even heartbeats are controlled by presence of sodium and potassium ions. So they are essential, but in definite amount, not in the excess. So excess consumption of salt is not good, but in adequate amount of salt, that is good. Here, what happens exactly? The required amount of salt is to be maintained in the blood, and so definite amount of sodium ions are absorbed, remaining are excreted out. This process we are calling as osmoregulation. That means we are getting the required amount of ions in the blood, remaining are discarded. Certain elements are not at all required by body, then they are also discarded. Selective reabsorption is not going to take place, and like that process is maintained. Then there is a concept that is about water. Say, I am again and again discussing that water is essential part of our body, but in excess water not required. In our brain, there is a part that is called as hypothalamus. To the downside or towards ventral side of that abdomen, of that hypothalamus, there is a small gland that is called as pituitary gland. Hypothalamus orders pituitary gland to secrete out a specific hormone. Hypothalamus orders pituitary gland to secrete out a hormone that is called as ADH, that is antidiuretic hormone, where according to that secretion of hormone, say what is the external temperature, then inside situation, all is calculated, and then this order is given, that is of secretion of ADH. If ADH is secreted, then it is antidiuretic hormone, and so the condition is something different, that water absorption starts in the vein and less water is going to excrete out. But if ADH is not secreted, then whatever the water present in this loop, that will transfer in urine. And so this way osmoregulation of body is maintained. So amount of water in body, amount of sodium in potassium, calcium ions in body, they are maintained. A mean position of our body is maintained. This process is called as homeostasis. So with osmoregulation and homeostasis, the amount of water in urine is controlled out. Now when person is under influence of liquor, that means alcohol, the impact on brain is there, and that's why there is problem of secretion of antidiuretic hormone, and that's why that reveals that ADH is not secreted properly and person suffers from dehydration, because more and more water is lost here in form of urine, and that's why person is having more urination. It is not that person is drinking of suppose 2 liters of beer, so excreted amount is also 2 liters. No, excreted amount is more and person suffers from dehydration. and that's why it is said that these alcoholic drinks are not good for health because they are having impact on brain also. Liver, yes, already going to damage, but brain is also having some problem. Now this is actually process where selective reabsorption is there, and that material is taken through venule, then it is accumulated and vein, and through vein it is passed through heart. So here actually purification of blood is achieved. Whatever the useful thing that is kept inside, whatever the not useful thing that is thrown away. And that's why this process is really essential in maintenance of our body mechanism. Now, whatever the material is coming here, that is collected together, and it is coming here in cortex part, this part, and then it is going outside through this ureter. It is forming urine, but urine is stored temporarily in urinary bladder. It is not immediately thrown. In case of frog-like animal, urine is stored in this bladder, and as the membrane of this bladder is semi-permeable, that means crystal rod can pass through that. On requirement, water is used from this bladder only, and then urine is becoming more and more concentrated in case of frog. And when there is danger, suppose snake is chasing out that frog, then at that point frog may excrete out, and that urine of frog is poisonous because it is having accumulated waste material. So this is the mechanism. So for that purpose it is stored temporarily, I am saying here, not permanently, but temporarily urine is stored over here, and then it is excreted out. This is about, just we discussed, that is excretory system, where excretory products are basically urea in case of man, but along with urea, unwanted metal ions or unwanted chemicals in blood, they are also thrown away. Usually bile salts or bile pigment is not found in urine, but at time of jaundice condition, the bile juice, instead of entering in alimentary canal, enters in bloodstream, and then it is filtered off and directly thrown outside the body. That's why urination is intense yellow in color. But not always that urination is intense yellow, that means jaundice is there. Why? Because when we are carrying out excessive work, water consumption is less, or certain medicines are consumed, or certain colors are consumed, then also color of urine may be yellow. It is not that always urine color is yellow means it is jaundice condition. The second test, that feces should have white color instead of yellow. Then that is jaundice condition, you can conclude. So here the important thing is that apart from various waste product, unwanted products in the body, unwanted substances in the body, they are also excreted. You are consuming excess of potassium ions or excess of sodium ions, then also they are excreted out of body. So this is, we discussed about excretion. Now certain problems related with excretion, we have certain diseases or problem. The first thing, that is about kidney stone. It is said that kidney stone is occurring because of precipitation action or crystallization process. So this whatever we discussed, the excretory products, it is containing of unwanted salts. If person is consuming more calcium, intentionally or not intentionally, say for example, intentionally means what? Suppose person is consuming more milk and milk product, then also calcium amount is more. Certain tablets, medicinal tablets are available for calcium deficiency. If that is consumed without consultation with doctor, then that is also there. Then in certain areas, already whatever the water is available, usually if water is obtained from borewell, then it is having considerable amount of calcium and magnesium salts dissolved in that. We are calling that as hard water. But this way, we are consuming more and more calcium product. Calcium is having very less solubility in water. So if concentration of calcium increases, it starts precipitating out. Initially the seeding crystal may form, followed by that the crystallization start occurring on that seeding crystal. That lead to formation of big crystals in this urinary tract, that is called as kidney stone. So in order to avoid that, number one, that we have to check control on calcium intake. Without consultation of doctor, you should not take medicines or product that will give you more amount of calcium. And suppose you are staying in areas where hard water is there, then it is advisable that in order to avoid that, because if more the water you are going to drink, more calcium ions will be there. So now certain water purifiers are available where RO technique is used. RO means reverse osmosis. And with that reverse osmosis, the good amount of calcium in water is maintained. It is not that water should not have calcium at all and it should have calcium. No, in between that, so that adequate amount of calcium ions are maintained by using RO technique. So like that water purifiers are available, so you can go through that. Then this disease, one of the reason of this disease we can avoid. Sometime with particularly because of diabetes or heavy diabetes or because of some other reason also, kidneys started malfunctioning. May be possible it result in failure of kidney, and at that time this whatever the natural process of blood purification is occurring, that is not happening. And for that purpose we have to use a concept that is called as use of some artificial kidney, or that is called as dialysis. That is also called as hemodialysis. So that you have to carry out, and with hemodialysis the blood is purified externally. So here from person's body blood is taken out, which is filtered out externally and re-entered in human body. So actually in order to avoid that, in young age only we have to take precaution that first thing, drink adequate amount. I am not saying that excess amount of water, but adequate amount of water, and then that water should be comparatively having less salts, then that is useful. But not only that, consume less amount of salt, NaCl. That is also we have to check, or we have to control the intake, and then certain things we have to avoid. So by that, and if diabetes, if at all, because today these metabolic diseases are going to take place in excess amount, our life is somewhat more tenuous, and then we have to take care of that. So if at all diabetes occurs, then we have to take proper precaution so that it will not having bad impact on kidney. But anyway, if this type of kidney failure is there, then also with help of dialysis, which is costly, but with help of dialysis, person can live his or her normal life. So this is about fewer diseases we discuss related with this excretory system. But only kidney is not excretory system. Apart from that, in our body, other methods of excretions are there, as we discussed. First is respiration, second is through kidney, the third is through sweating. On our skin, the sweat glands are present. Main intention of sweating is to control body temperature. When outside temperature is higher and body temperature is lower, then in order to control body temperature, our body starts secreting out sweat. That sweat is actually water plus certain salts. Then that sweating, that water start evaporating out, and for that purpose heat is required. That heat is taken from human body, and that's why we are having feel of lowering out temperature. Cold feeling is there at that time when sweat is evaporating out. You can check out simple thing. when spirit is applied on skin, we feel it is very cold. Insert thermometer in the spirit, you will find it is not that cold. But we are having feeling of cold. What happens exactly? Spirit is volatile liquid. Volatile means boiling point is less than 100 degree. When we apply spirit on skin, its boiling point is just 78 degrees Celsius. So 22 degree less than water. So it evaporates fast. For evaporation purpose, heat is required. That heat is taken from our skin or from our body, and therefore we are having feeling of cold feeling there. Now this is about we are saying the sweating. But in order to take that sweat, that means water, out the body, sodium chloride is required. Along with that, ammonium chloride is also excreted. You are aware of ammonia, NH3. That NH3 reacts with HCl to produce NH4Cl. This is called as ammonium chloride. So ammonium chloride is also excreted along with sodium chloride and water, because if possible, say main intention is not excretion of ammonium chloride, but salts are required to take out water outside, then ammonia is also taking part in that, and double functioning is there. So cooling or maintenance of temperature is also achieved, and second thing, that is removal of nitrogenous waste, that is also achieved. So this is double function. But sometimes when problems are there in kidneys, then also excess of nitrogen is excreted through form of this sweating. And if you are having the problem, some problem like sweating in unusual manner, means in winter season, external temperature is very low and still sweating is there, then that is a sign that some problems are there. And then we have to check out that why sweating is there. Many reasons are there. Out of that, one reason is problem in kidney also. The accumulation of nitrogenous waste in blood, and so at that time also excess sweating is starting out. So intention of sweating is not excretion, but along with sweating, excretion is achieved. Same way, there are glands, they are called as sebaceous gland. If you observe our skin, and particularly certain television advertise, they are pointing out again and again on oily skin. Say our skin is oily and it must be oily. Then only our skin is protected from scratches. Otherwise ordinary scratch may cut skin, but because it is remaining soft with this oil spreading over skin, it is a boon. But some advertising are misleading. They are saying that no, skin should not be oily and all that. Now here, this skin is actually oily because of these glands present under the skin. They are called as sebaceous gland. They are secreting out oily secretions over body. Along with that also certain waste material is thrown away out of body. So this way we discuss about the excretion, certain diseases we discuss. Then modes of excretion. Now the time is there for exam, so we have to give answers of any 5 questions I am discussing now. So each kidney is having about million of nephron. The average person is having around blood that is in the range of 5 to 6 liter blood that is present, whereas in a day 400 times entire blood is passed out through kidneys. As a result, around 190 liter blood is filtered through kidney per day. So no doubt blood present in body is 5 to 6 liter, but in a day totally it is 190 to 200 liter blood is filtered in a kidney, and after this 190 to 200 liter filtration, all things are not thrown away. Urine formation is just about 1 to 1.9 liters. You will get importance of this selective reabsorption over here. So this is the importance of the selective reabsorption. The chemicals which are entering in the body, they are not allowed to go outside unless it is totally useless or it is harmful. Otherwise, it is reabsorbed. So this is some statistical data about this excretion. I hope you must have written the answer. Just check out. Gland which secretes out oil on skin, they are called as dash dash. Answer is sebaceous gland. In human being, main nitrogenous waste excreted, that is dash dash. So in case of human being, nitrogenous waste secreted, that is main, the answer is urea. But you are aware that along with urea, traces of uric acid are also produced, and ammonium chloride is also excreted through screen. But here the question was asked main excretory product, nitrogenous waste. So answer is urea. In nephrolepis, excretion is carried out through, as we discussed, nephrolepis, that means fern plant, where in that fern plant on leaves, a part is there for guttation, that is called as hydanthodium. So if answer is written as hydanthodium singular, hydanthodia plural, then it is right. Podocytes, even in that example, instead of hydanthodium, suppose leaves are mentioned, then also I am giving you right answer. Next question, podocytes are present in dash dash part of nephron. Podocytes, as we discussed here, that the active transport of material is carried out here. So this part is called as Bowman's capsule. So podocytes are present in Bowman's capsule of nephron. Next question, gland situated above kidney. That means these two glands you have to name. Answer is either suprarenal gland or adrenal gland. Any one answer is correct here. So you can write down either suprarenal gland or adrenal gland. Both answers are correct.